You don't need a better plan. You need a sharper mind. The truth is, your business isn't stuck because of the market, your team, or your resources. It's stuck because you are. Every time you plateau, your business is simply mirroring your current level of personal growth. Until you upgrade your mindset, no strategy will save you. This isn't a book about business growth. It's a book about becoming the kind of person your next level demands. Chapter 1. Growth starts with brutal self-honesty. Growth doesn't start with strategy. It starts with honesty. The kind of honesty that makes you uncomfortable. The kind that burns away your excuses. You say you want to grow your business. You say you want to scale, to lead, to build something great. But here's the truth. Your business is not the problem. You are. Every plateau you hit, every struggle you face, and it's just a mirror. A mirror reflecting your current level of awareness, discipline, and courage. And until you face that mirror without flinching, nothing changes. You don't need another marketing funnel. You don't need another productivity hack. You need to tell yourself the truth. My business can't grow past my awareness. Say it again. My business can't grow past my awareness. That sentence is the key. Because awareness is everything. Awareness is what turns failure into feedback. Awareness is what separates the ones who evolve from the ones who repeat. The reason you keep recycling the same results isn't bad luck. It's blind spots. It's denial. It's the stories you keep telling yourself to protect your ego. You say the market is tough. You say the algorithm changed. You say your team doesn't care as much as you do. No, the truth is you've stopped leading. You've stopped growing. You've stopped demanding excellence from yourself while expecting it from everyone else. Growth starts when you finally say, "It's me. I'm the reason." That's not shame. That's power. Because once you take full responsibility, you take back full control. As long as you blame, you stay powerless. But the moment you own it, everything shifts. Listen, business is the world's greatest personal development program. It will expose every insecurity you have. It will magnify your impatience, your lack of focus, your emotional immaturity. And that's not punishment. That's the invitation. The invitation to evolve, to outgrow your excuses, to rise above your current self. Most people never do this. They chase symptoms instead of sources. They keep fixing their marketing instead of fixing their mindset. They rebuild websites instead of rebuilding habits. They hire coaches to hold them accountable when what they really need is integrity. You don't need accountability when you have honesty. That's the foundation. Because honesty creates self-respect, and self-respect creates results. Let's get brutally practical for a moment. You want to know where your business really stands? Don't look at your revenue. Look at your routines. Don't look at your followers. Look at your focus, because your daily disciplines are your business plan. If you start your day reacting, scrolling, complaining, that's exactly what your business becomes: reactive, distracted, chaotic. If you start your day with intention, clarity, and gratitude, your business follows that rhythm too. Your business reflects you, always. If you're exhausted, it's disorganized. If you're scattered, it's inconsistent. If you're calm, it's consistent. If you're intentional, it grows. That's why self-honesty isn't optional. It's oxygen. You cannot grow what you won't admit. You cannot fix what you won't face. It's not about guilt. It's about ownership. You can't lead others until you can lead yourself. And leadership starts with a mirror, not a megaphone. Ask yourself, am I truly showing up every day with discipline, or am I waiting for motivation? Am I studying, improving, and refining, or am I recycling the same week 100 times and calling it experience? Am I blaming the market, or am I blind to my own complacency? The uncomfortable truth: you've built systems that protect your comfort more than your growth. You've built habits that keep you busy but not better. You've built stories that make you feel justified instead of responsible. That's what brutal self-honesty destroys. It burns the false stories. It dismantles the ego. It humbles you, but it frees you. Because when you finally say, "It's me," you also say, "Then I can change it." And that's the moment growth begins. Remember this: success is self-awareness expressed through action. Not through talk, not through plans. Through transformation. It's not about knowing the truth. It's about living it. You can't outsource that. You can't fake that. Real leaders tell themselves the truth even when it hurts. That's why they evolve. That's why they win. You want a better business? Start by becoming a better observer. Watch how you react under stress. Notice how you talk to your team when things go wrong. Listen to the excuses you make when results don't show up fast enough. Those small moments reveal your ceiling. Your self-awareness determines your altitude. It always does. My business can't grow past my awareness. Repeat it until it sinks in, until it changes the way you wake up, until it changes the way you plan, lead, and act. You can't skip this step. This is the foundation. The hardest truth is the most freeing one. You are the common denominator in every win and every loss you've ever had. That's not judgment. That's data. That's clarity. That's your roadmap. Because when you stop lying to yourself, you stop fighting invisible enemies. When you take full ownership, you gain full leverage. And when you choose growth over comfort, the entire game changes. Every problem in your business is a teacher. Every obstacle is feedback. Every plateau is a mirror saying, "This version of you has gone as far as it can go." So, who do you need to become next? What truth are you avoiding right now? Because that truth is your next breakthrough. Stop looking for the next secret. Stop waiting for the next course. Start facing yourself. Growth begins where denial ends. That's the line. That's the work. That's the freedom. My business can't grow past my awareness. That's not a quote. That's a law. And until you master that, nothing else matters. But once you do, once you build the courage to tell yourself the truth, you unlock the kind of growth that never ends. Because when you grow, everything grows. When you stop, everything stops. That's where it all begins. Brutal honesty, radical ownership, complete awareness. You don't need to change the world. You just need to change the way you see yourself. Because once you do, the world will follow. You've faced your reflection. You've taken ownership. Now it's time to raise your standards and rebuild your identity. Because growth doesn't just require awareness, it demands alignment. Chapter 2. Success isn't strategy. It's identity. Success doesn't start with a plan. It starts with a person. Everyone wants the tactics, the funnels, the frameworks, the steps. But none of it matters if the person executing them doesn't believe they deserve the outcome. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your identity. That's why two people can follow the exact same strategy and end up in two different realities. One thrives. The other quits. Why? Because one believes they're built for it. The other still doubts if they belong there. That's the game most people never understand. Success isn't logical, it's personal. It's not a strategy problem. It's an identity problem. You can't outperform the way you see yourself. You can't build an empire with a mindset built for survival. You keep saying you want to scale. But scaling means becoming a different version of you. It means shedding the smallness, the fear, the story that says, "I'm not ready yet." That's the lie. You're not stuck because you don't know enough. You're stuck because you still think like the version of you that started. You want to grow your business. Then stop chasing new tactics and start upgrading your identity. Ask yourself, who do I need to become to make this next level inevitable? That's the question that changes everything. Because your business is a reflection of your belief system, not your business plan. You can't act like a six-figure leader while thinking like an intern. You can't build $1 million business with a minimum wage mindset. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. Identity is the foundation that strategy stands on. If the foundation cracks, the plan collapses. Every time. Think about this. Every decision you make flows from the image you hold of yourself. If you see yourself as overwhelmed, you'll create chaos. If you see yourself as capable, you'll create order. If you see yourself as a leader, you'll make decisions that reflect leadership. That's the power of identity. It sets the limits of your behavior. You'll always return to what feels familiar. That's why people self-sabotage. It's not failure, it's comfort. They want more, but their self-image can't handle more. They want success, but they still identify with struggle. So every time they start winning, they subconsciously pull back. Because winning doesn't feel like them, you have to rewrite that story. You have to expand what feels normal for you. Because the moment success feels normal, it stays. Listen carefully. You can't hold a new reality with an old identity. That's why change feels hard. You're not just breaking habits. You're breaking identity loops. You're letting go of who you were to become who you need to be. And that's not easy. That's why most people stop halfway. They cling to the old version of themselves and wonder why the new level rejects them. Growth demands death, the death of the old identity. You can't bring your comfort zone into your next chapter. You can't cling to your excuses and call it strategy. You want to grow your income? Grow your self-image. You want to lead stronger? Start seeing yourself as someone who commands respect, not seeks it. You want to stop procrastinating? Stop identifying as someone who needs motivation. You don't need more motivation. You need a new identity that doesn't depend on it. The identity of someone who follows through, because that's who they are. That's the key. Discipline isn't about effort. It's about identity. You don't need willpower when something becomes who you are. The athlete doesn't try to work out. The leader doesn't try to show up early. The creator doesn't try to create. They just do. Because it's who they are. That's where you need to get to. You have to stop trying and start becoming. Look around your life. Everything in it is an echo of who you believe you are. Your environment, your habits, your results, they all align perfectly with your self-image. Nothing is out of place. That's why change starts with identity. Because if you don't change who you are, you'll keep recreating the same reality. You'll get new tools, but the same outcome. New strategies, but the same sabotage. So let's get real. Who are you right now? Who do you think you are when nobody's watching? Because that's the version that drives every decision. Do you see yourself as powerful or as a victim? Do you see yourself as capable or as someone who's always one step behind? Do you see yourself as a creator or a consumer? You can't build a powerful business from a powerless identity. You can't inspire others while secretly doubting yourself. That's the battle. Not outside, but inside. And it's the only battle worth fighting. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I'm not that kind of person," you've just defined your ceiling. But here's the truth. Identity isn't fixed. It's forged. You build it through repetition, not revelation. You want to become a confident leader? Then act like one. Before you feel like one. You want to become disciplined? Then show up. Even when it's uncomfortable. Action rewires identity. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you prove a new story true. Every time you follow through, you strengthen that new self-image. And over time, it becomes who you are. That's why this isn't just mindset work. It's identity engineering. It's the process of deliberately becoming the kind of person your next level requires. Stop asking, "What do I need to do?" Start asking, "Who do I need to be?" Because when you become that person, the doing takes care of itself. You don't need their permission. You need your conviction. The world will follow your example, not your excuses. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So become it. Live it, breathe it, and watch how the world rearranges around you. This is the invisible work, the internal upgrade that makes all external growth possible. You don't need more information. You need more identity alignment. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your identity. That's the truth. That's the key. That's the work. Because once you shift who you are, your results can't help but follow. You've learned to face yourself. Now you're learning to become yourself, the upgraded, unshakable version. And that version, That's the leader your business has been waiting for. You've seen that success starts inside. But what keeps it alive, what separates the ones who evolve from the ones who fade, is consistency. And consistency isn't punishment, it's freedom. Chapter 3. Discipline is freedom, not restriction. Most people run from discipline like it's a cage. But the truth? Discipline is the door to every freedom you say you want. You want financial freedom. You want creative freedom. You want time freedom. But you can't have any of that without structure. And structure, that's discipline. Discipline isn't punishment. It's precision. It's clarity. It's self-respect in motion. The undisciplined life looks free, but it's chaos wearing a mask. You wake up late. You react all day. You chase what's urgent instead of what's important. That's not freedom. That's slavery. To emotion, to distraction, to comfort. Real freedom is earned through repetition. Real power is built through routine. Discipline builds the structure that freedom lives in. That's the law. Every high performer you admire. They're not special. They're consistent. Every leader you respect, they're not lucky. They're disciplined. They've built habits that make success automatic. That's the secret. Discipline removes the need for motivation. You don't need to feel like it when your standards are non-negotiable. You don't need external validation when your habits validate you every day. That's what discipline gives you. Freedom from dependence. Think about it. The person who wakes up at 5 a.m. isn't addicted to pain. They're addicted to progress. They know their life expands when they control their mornings. Because if you don't control your start, chaos controls your day. You have a choice, structure or struggle. That's it. No one escapes that trade-off. Discipline gives you direction. Direction gives you peace. Peace gives you power. Lack of discipline? It gives you noise, confusion, stress. You think you're free because no one tells you what to do, but your emotions tell you everything to do, and you obey them every time. That's not freedom. That's a leash. You scroll when you should study. You rest when you haven't earned it. You talk about goals you never commit to, then you call it burnout. But it's not burnout. It's avoidance. It's the exhaustion that comes from breaking promises to yourself. Here's the truth. Discipline isn't hard. Indecision is hard. Avoidance is hard. Regret is hard. You think discipline costs you something? Try inconsistency. That's the real price. The quiet erosion of self-respect. Every time you skip what you said you'd do, you teach yourself not to trust yourself. Every time you delay what matters, you reinforce weakness over willpower. You don't need more time. You need tighter standards. You don't need another planner. You need personal integrity, because the gap between your goals and your results, that's discipline. You can know what to do. You can even want it badly. But if you can't make yourself do it when it's hard, you'll always stay stuck. And the truth is, you already know what to do. Everyone does. The world doesn't lack information. It lacks follow-through. You know what kills dreams faster than failure? Distraction. You know what kills progress faster than fear? Comfort. Discipline is the antidote to both. Because discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It just asks, did you do what you said you would do? That's the real scoreboard. Most people will never know peace because they refuse to build it. Peace doesn't come from control. It comes from commitment. When your life has rhythm, your mind has room to breathe. When your days have order, your goals have oxygen. That's why the most free people in the world live by rules. They're not trapped. They're trusted. By themselves. Discipline creates trust. Trust creates flow. Flow creates freedom. You think freedom is doing whatever you want whenever you want? That's chaos. Freedom is being able to do what's needed, even when you don't want to. That's mastery. Let's get practical. You want discipline? Stop negotiating with yourself. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, you train your brain to doubt your word. You make hesitation a habit. Instead, make discipline automatic. Create triggers. If you wake up, you move. If it's 8 a.m., you work. If it's Friday, you plan. No debate, no emotion. Just execution, because emotion follows motion. Action first, feeling later. That's discipline in real life. You don't need inspiration. You need integrity. You don't need motivation. You need movement. Say it again. Discipline builds the structure that freedom lives in. The more structured your habits, the more spontaneous your life can become. Because you're no longer guessing. You're grounded. You've built the muscle of follow-through, and that muscle, that's the difference between the dreamers and the doers. Dreamers talk about what they'll do someday. Doers repeat what works until it becomes their new normal. You have a choice. Every day, stay soft or stay sharp. Stay reactive or stay ready. You don't need their permission. You need your own consistency. Because discipline doesn't limit you. It liberates you. It takes the weight of indecision off your shoulders. It lets you move through life without hesitation, without guilt, without constant restarts. People call it boring, but boredom is where mastery begins. Repetition is where power compounds. You want freedom? Earn it through discipline. You want peace? Build it through precision. You want success? Create it through structure. This is the paradox of achievement. The tighter your focus, the wider your world becomes. The more disciplined your habits, the more doors open. Because the universe rewards order, not chaos. Stop treating discipline like a prison. It's the blueprint of greatness. It's the reason some people win quietly, while others talk loudly and stay stuck. Discipline is doing what must be done, especially when no one is watching. It's the silent contract between your potential and your performance. It's how you prove you're serious, and when you prove that, the results come faster than you ever imagined. Remember, you're not working for freedom. You're working through discipline to reach it. You're not fighting restriction. You're forging resilience, because discipline isn't about control. It's about power. And power, that's the truest freedom there is. So stop waiting for it to feel easy. Start acting like it's already who you are. Because once you build the habit, it stops being hard. It starts being home. Discipline builds the structure that freedom lives in. Say it until you believe it. Say it until you live it. You've faced your truth. You've redefined your identity. Now you've built the foundation of freedom, discipline. But discipline alone isn't enough. Because the moment you get comfortable, growth stops. The next level demands something deeper. The courage to reject comfort and embrace challenge. Chapter 4. The enemy is comfort, not failure. You think failure is the enemy. It's not. Failure refines you. Comfort ruins you. Most people never reach their potential, not because they fail, but because they stop stretching. They trade growth for convenience. They choose comfort over courage, and then they call it peace. But peace isn't the absence of struggle. Peace is the presence of progress. Comfort feels good, but it costs everything. It steals your hunger. It dulls your edge. It whispers, "You've done enough." That's the lie that kills ambition. You were not built for comfort. You were built for challenge. Every time you get comfortable, you start dying in slow motion. Your business stagnates. Your ideas fade. Your standards slip. You think you're resting, but you're actually rusting. Failure teaches. Comfort sedates. That's the truth. Failure gives feedback. Failure builds resilience. Failure introduces you to yourself. Comfort does none of that. Comfort keeps you blind. It convinces you that average is acceptable. That good enough is enough. That tomorrow is a promise, not a privilege. You say you're waiting for the right time. You say you're preparing. But let's be honest, you're hiding. You're hiding behind routines that no longer challenge you. You're hiding behind habits that keep you safe but small. The comfort zone is a coffin dressed like a couch. It looks soft, but it's death on delay. That's why the greatest enemy of greatness isn't failure. It's satisfaction. Because once you start saying, "I'm doing better than most," you've already stopped becoming your best. You have a choice every single day, growth or comfort. You can't have both. Growth hurts because it demands change. Comfort feels easy because it asks for nothing. But nothing is exactly what it gives you back. Remember this: every breakthrough lives on the other side of discomfort. You want to grow your business? Get uncomfortable. You want to lead with confidence? Have the hard conversation. You want to master your craft? Stop avoiding the reps that scare you. Comfort zones don't keep you safe. They keep you small. They protect your ego while they kill your potential. You think failure breaks you? No, it builds you. Failure is feedback. It sharpens your focus. It exposes what needs work. Comfort hides what needs work. It lets your weaknesses stay invisible until they become disasters. Failure says, try again. Comfort says, don't bother. Failure gives you data. Comfort gives you decay. You can fail forward 1,000 times and still win. But stay comfortable for 1 year, and you'll lose your momentum, your hunger, your edge. So how do you destroy comfort before it destroys you? Simple. Seek friction on purpose. Do something hard every day. Not because you have to, but because you choose to. Wake up earlier than you want. Take the meeting that scares you. Launch the thing before it's perfect. Say yes when fear says no. That's how you train your nervous system for expansion. That's how you normalize growth. Because comfort shrinks your threshold for challenge, but discomfort expands it. The people who win aren't fearless. They're familiar with fear. They've made discomfort their ally. They don't ask, will this be easy? They ask, will this make me stronger? That's the question that keeps you evolving. You don't need to eliminate fear. You need to outgrow it. You don't need to avoid pain. You need to assign it purpose. Every time you run from discomfort, you reinforce weakness. Every time you embrace it, you reinforce strength. You can't become resilient without resistance. You can't grow confidence without challenge. You can't expand your capacity without discomfort. It's not punishment. It's preparation. Every obstacle is training. Every delay is discipline. Every failure is feedback. Comfort offers you none of that. It offers numbness and calls it peace. It offers mediocrity and calls it balance. Stop letting comfort seduce you with its softness. Start letting challenge sharpen you with its truth. Failure teaches. Comfort sedates. Say it again. Let it burn. You were built for evolution, not ease. You were built for impact, not idleness. The difference between good and great isn't talent, it's tolerance. Tolerance for pain. Tolerance for discomfort. Tolerance for growth. The higher you want to go, the more friction you'll feel. And that's not a sign to stop. That's the signal to keep going. You're not being punished. You're being promoted. But only if you keep moving. When you choose challenge, you grow. When you avoid it, you shrink. That's the rule. Every time. If you want a life that feels effortless, you must first live a season that feels uncomfortable. If you want freedom later, embrace friction now. The pain you avoid today becomes the prison you live in tomorrow. The pain you face today becomes the power you lead with tomorrow. That's why the best leaders run toward discomfort. They crave it, because they know that every hard thing builds capacity, and capacity is currency. The marketplace doesn't reward comfort. It rewards growth, courage, and consistency. The world doesn't pay for potential. It pays for pressure-tested strength. So ask yourself, where have I gotten comfortable? Where have I stopped stretching? Where am I coasting when I should be climbing? That's where your next level is hiding. Break the pattern. Do what's hard. Do what's inconvenient. Do what the old version of you avoided, because the old you is the ceiling. And if you don't outgrow that version, your business never will. Comfort is a liar. It tells you you're safe, but it's stealing your edge. It tells you you're fine, but it's dulling your fire. You don't need safety. You need stamina. You don't need guarantees. You need grit. Because the person who's willing to get uncomfortable will always outrun the person who's trying to stay comfortable. You don't need their permission. You don't need validation. You need pressure. You need stretch. You need the fight. That's where evolution happens. So, stop fearing failure. Start fearing comfort. Because failure ends the version of you that was holding you back. Comfort ends all versions of you. Slowly, you can recover from failure. You can't recover from stagnation. Failure teaches. Comfort sedates. That's the truth. That's the standard. That's the work. You've learned to fight comfort. You've learned to find strength in struggle. Now it's time to uncover the hidden force that drives your business every single day. The invisible partner that determines your destiny. Chapter 5. Your habits are your hidden business partners. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your habits. Your habits are the real team running your business, quietly, invisibly, every single day. You think strategy builds success? No. Habits do, because every system, every client, every dollar is a reflection of your repeated behavior. Not your ideas, not your intentions, your patterns. If your mornings are chaotic, your business will be too. If your standards are flexible, your results will be unpredictable. If your discipline is inconsistent, your income will be inconsistent. You want to know the truth? You don't have business problems. You have behavioral problems. Your habits are your real business partners. They decide what gets done when motivation disappears. They run the show when no one's watching. They either serve your vision or sabotage it. That's the uncomfortable truth most entrepreneurs avoid. They think success is about innovation. It's not. It's about repetition. Innovation creates momentum. Habits sustain it because motivation is a spark, but habit is the engine. You can be excited for a week. You can be focused for a project, but unless you build the daily systems that back your vision, you'll always return to your baseline, and your baseline is built by your habits. Let's get real for a second. You can't meditate once and call yourself mindful. You can't post twice and call it marketing. You can't journal once a month and call it self-awareness. Consistency beats intensity every single time. You don't get what you want. You get what you repeat. The world doesn't care what you say you'll do. It only responds to what you consistently do. You can plan all you want, but your habits will tell the truth. Because your habits reveal your real priorities, not your goals, your reality. Look at your last 7 days. That's your business plan. That's your standard. That's your future. If you want to change your results, you must first change your routines. Because habits are how you vote for your future. One choice at a time. Every habit you keep is a vote for the kind of leader you're becoming. Every habit you break is a vote for the kind of weakness you're leaving behind. It's not about perfection. It's about direction. It's not about intensity. It's about identity. You're not building habits. You're building who you are. If you want a stronger business, build a stronger identity. If you want a stronger identity, reinforce stronger habits. That's the loop. That's the game. Stop chasing hacks. Start building foundations, because your habits are always working. The question is, for who? For the leader you want to become? Or the follower you've always been? Every time you hit snooze, you teach yourself that comfort wins. Every time you procrastinate, you train your brain that fear leads. Every time you keep your word, you reinforce discipline. You're always practicing something, whether you know it or not. The question is, what are you rehearsing for? Excellence or excuses? Consistency or chaos? Growth or guilt? Your habits answer that, not your words. It's not about being motivated. Motivation fades. Habits stay. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It just gets it done. You want to become unstoppable? Stop negotiating with your habits. Don't argue with your alarm clock. Don't debate whether to show up. Don't wait for inspiration. Show up because that's who you are now. That's the shift. Discipline isn't a feeling. It's an identity. When you start seeing yourself as the kind of person who does what needs to be done, everything changes. You don't need to force effort. It becomes automatic. You don't chase success, you attract it. Because your actions are aligned with your vision. That's why habits are the hidden infrastructure of success. They're invisible to others, but visible in your results. Your sleep, your focus, your routines, they all compound. Tiny decisions repeated daily determine whether your empire expands or collapses. You think big breakthroughs come from big moments. They don't. They come from tiny consistencies, from showing up on the days you don't feel like it, from keeping promises no one sees. Every great business was built on boring consistency. Every broken business was destroyed by invisible neglect, so stop underestimating the small things. The way you start your day, the way you close your laptop, the way you talk to yourself when things go wrong, that's the architecture of your success. The truth is, you don't rise to the level of your ambition. You fall to the level of your habits. And your habits are either building your empire or burning it quietly behind your back. It's not about talent. It's not about opportunity. It's about reliability, because the market rewards reliability more than brilliance. It rewards consistency more than creativity. It rewards follow-through more than potential. So ask yourself right now, are your habits building your legacy or delaying it? Are they creating momentum or maintaining mediocrity? Stop saying you need more time. You don't need more time. You need tighter habits. You don't need more knowledge. You need more consistency. You don't need more clarity. You need more follow-through. Your business doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your rituals. You can't scale chaos. You can only scale structure, and structure comes from habit. So today, right now, look at your systems. Audit your routines. Ask yourself, if I repeated this day for the next 365 days, what would my business look like? If that thought doesn't excite you, then something has to change. Start small. Start now. Start with one habit that aligns with your next level. Because every time you choose consistency over comfort, you multiply your momentum. Every time you choose discipline over delay, you accelerate your destiny. That's the secret most people miss. Success doesn't explode, it compounds. One disciplined day at a time. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do the right things, repeatedly. That's the work. That's the standard. That's the blueprint. Your habits are your hidden business partners. Treat them with respect. Audit them often. And never forget, they're either working for you or against you. You've built the foundation. Your habits, your rhythm, your standards. But there's one thing that determines how far and how fast you'll go from here. Your relationship with pressure. Chapter 6. Pressure is a privilege. Everyone wants growth. But no one wants pressure. Everyone wants power. But no one wants the weight that comes with it. You say you want more clients, more income, more impact, but do you understand what that really means? It means more pressure. It means more decisions. It means more eyes on you, more expectations, more responsibility, and that's not punishment, that's privilege, because pressure doesn't show up to destroy you. It shows up to develop you. Pressure is proof that you're expanding. It's evidence that your capacity is being tested. And every test is a doorway to your next level. So stop running from pressure. Start earning it. Most people pray for opportunity, but hide from the pressure that comes with it. They want the trophy, but not the training. They want the spotlight, but not the sweat. But you're different. You understand that pressure is the path. Because pressure is not your enemy. It's your mirror. It reflects your preparation. When you feel the weight, it's not a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're being forged. That's the key. No pressure, no progress. No tension, no transformation. Pressure is what turns potential into performance. It's what turns talent into trust. It's what turns a business owner into a leader. And that's what this game is about. When you stop avoiding pressure, you start expanding your power. Let's be clear. Pressure doesn't make you weaker. It reveals your strength. It exposes your gaps. It teaches you how to operate when comfort is no longer an option. Most people crumble under pressure because they were never honest about what they wanted. They wanted the results, not the responsibility. They wanted the attention, not the accountability. But if you want to lead, truly lead, then you must learn to perform under weight. Pressure is a privilege because it means you matter. It means your decisions carry weight. It means people are counting on you. That's not something to run from. That's something to rise into. Pressure separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the builders, the curious from the committed. Anyone can feel confident when things are calm. But true power is proven in the chaos. Pressure will test your patience. It will test your focus. It will test your faith. But every test carries a gift, expansion. You don't grow when it's easy. You grow when it's heavy, when it's uncomfortable, when it feels like too much, but you show up anyway. That's what pressure does. It stretches your threshold. It expands your capacity. And here's the secret. Capacity is currency. The bigger your capacity, the bigger your life. The more you can carry, the more you can create, so stop asking for it to get easier. Start training to get stronger. You don't need less pressure. You need more preparation. You need more perspective. You need more belief. Pressure only breaks what's brittle. But when you train your mind, pressure polishes you. Look at diamonds, forged under pressure. Look at muscle, built under tension. Look at leadership, proven under stress. The principle is the same everywhere. Without pressure, potential dies unused. That's why the most successful people in the world don't avoid pressure. They invite it. They chase it. They live there. Because they understand that comfort makes you soft, but pressure makes you sharp. You can't become legendary without weight. You can't lead people without pressure. You can't grow an empire without resistance. Pressure is the universe asking, can you handle what you said you wanted? And your answer is not in your words. It's in your response. Do you rise? Or do you retreat? Do you fold? Or do you focus? Do you panic? Or do you perform? That's the moment that defines you. Pressure is a privilege because it means you've entered rare territory. You're playing a bigger game. You're trusted with greater responsibility. That means you're becoming someone new. So when the weight feels heavy, remember, you asked for this. You asked to grow. You asked to expand. You asked to become great. And greatness has a cost. Pressure is the payment. Most people never reach mastery because they treat pressure as punishment. But pressure is the training ground for excellence. Every high performer knows this. You don't rise after pressure, you rise through it. You can't fake strength in pressure. You can only reveal it, so breathe. Hold steady. This is the moment that forges your next level. You're not being crushed. You're being calibrated. You're not being buried. You're being built. Pressure doesn't break you. It builds you. It builds your endurance. It builds your resilience. It builds your identity. That's the truth no one tells you. Because the real privilege of pressure is this. It reveals what's real. It strips away everything fake. It forces you to meet yourself. Pressure asks, who are you when it's not easy anymore? And your actions answer. So don't run from the weight. Lean into it, lift it. Learn from it. Because every ounce of pressure you carry today prepares you for the power you'll hold tomorrow. You are being refined right now. Every demand, every deadline, every setback, every expectation. This is your training ground, and when you look back, you'll realize the pressure didn't stop you. It shaped you. It prepared you. It made you unshakable. Pressure is not the problem. Your perspective is shift it. And suddenly, everything changes, because once you learn to see pressure as privilege, you'll never fear it again. You'll crave it. Because pressure means you're alive, growing, leading, evolving. And that's the whole point. Pressure doesn't break you. It builds you. Remember that. Repeat it. Live it. You've learned to embrace pressure. not as a punishment, but as proof of progress. Now it's time to turn that pressure into performance. Let's talk about the fuel that separates amateurs from achievers. Chapter 7. Energy is your ultimate currency. You think success is about time. It's not. It's about energy. Time is limited. Energy is renewable. If you know how to manage it, your business doesn't run on time. It runs on you, your focus, your attention, your drive. That's your real fuel. When your energy drops, everything slows. Your decisions, your creativity, your confidence. When your energy rises, everything accelerates. You don't need more hours. You need more vitality. Energy is the foundation of performance. It's the silent engine behind execution. And yet, it's the most ignored asset in entrepreneurship. We measure money. We track time. But we forget to manage the one thing that powers them both. Energy. You can't outperform your energy. You can't outwork exhaustion. You can't outthink burnout, because success is not about how much you do. It's about how well you show up. So let's get brutally honest. If your energy is scattered, your business will be too. If your energy is reactive, your results will be inconsistent. If your energy is depleted, your vision will fade. Energy drives everything, from how you think, to how you lead, to how you create. And the truth is, every single thing in your life is either charging you or draining you. Every conversation, every routine, every thought. You have to start treating your energy like money because it is your ultimate currency. Stop spending it on things that don't give you a return. Stop wasting it on people who don't align with your purpose. Stop giving it away to distractions that don't deserve your focus. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. When you lose money, you can make it back. When you lose time, you can reorganize your schedule. But when you lose energy, everything collapses. Your ideas dry up. Your passion disappears. Your execution dies. That's why the most successful people in the world are not just disciplined with their habits. They're ruthless with their energy. They protect their mornings. They curate their circle. They control their inputs. They don't let negativity take root. They don't let drama drain them. They don't let chaos in the door. Because they understand that energy. Management is life management. You can't build a thriving business with a dying battery. You need to plug into what charges you daily. That means movement. That means silence. That means intention. That means clarity. Energy doesn't come from caffeine. It comes from alignment. When what you do matches who you are, energy flows naturally. When you chase things that contradict your truth, energy leaks out of you like water through a cracked glass. So stop trying to push harder. Start aligning deeper. The more aligned you are with your purpose, the less energy you waste fighting yourself. And that's the secret most people miss. They think burnout is from doing too much. It's not. It's from doing too much of what doesn't matter. You can work 16 hours a day and still feel alive if the work feeds your soul. You can work 4 hours a day and feel empty if the work drains your spirit. It's not the hours. It's the harmony. Energy is not just physical, it's emotional, mental, spiritual. And every dimension needs to be fueled. You can't just train your body, cook, you have to train your attention. You can't just eat well, you have to think well. You can't just rest your muscles. You have to reset your mind. That's how you operate at peak capacity. You are an energy system. Everything you consume, food, content, conversation, either strengthens or weakens that system. So ask yourself daily, what am I feeding my energy? Am I feeding focus or distraction? Am I feeding gratitude or resentment? Am I feeding growth or decay? Because your energy follows your attention. And wherever your attention goes, your power flows. That's why your mornings matter. That's why your rituals matter. That's why your mental hygiene matters. Don't start your day with chaos. Start it with control. Don't begin with noise. Begin with silence. Don't consume the world. Create your world. You don't need more to-do lists. You need more to-be lists. You don't need more information. You need more integration. Everything you build externally is a reflection of what's happening internally. If your inner world is frantic, your outer world will be too. If your inner world is focused, your outer world follows. Energy alignment is everything. You can't fake it. You can't outsource it. You can only embody it. So if you want to double your business, start by doubling your energy. Not by doing more, by leaking less. Cut the noise. Cut the obligations that don't serve your vision. Cut the people who thrive on drama. Because if they drain your energy, they're delaying your destiny. Energy is sacred, and you have to treat it that way. Every yes is an energy transaction. Every no is an energy preservation. You can't say yes to everything and still expect to have power left for what matters. That's why focus is the highest form of energy discipline. You don't need to do more. You need to do what matters better. And when you do, you'll realize your energy multiplies your impact because clarity amplifies energy. Purpose magnifies energy. Gratitude sustains energy. Those are your real power sources. So here's the challenge. Audit your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. Every week ask yourself, what gave me life? What drained me? What needs to go? Then act on it, ruthlessly, because when you protect your energy, you protect your potential. When you protect your potential, you protect your purpose. And when you protect your purpose, everything else falls into place. You don't need more time. You need more power. You don't need more strategy. You need more energy behind your strategy. Because energy, not time, is the ultimate currency of success. Protect it. Prioritize it. Preserve it. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Chapter 1. Final continuation and closing transition. Growth starts with brutal self-honesty. Because here's the truth most people never want to face. Your business problems aren't business problems. They're personal problems that have compounded into professional ones. If you procrastinate, your business reflects delay. If you doubt yourself, your brand speaks uncertainty. If you can't say no, your company bleeds time and energy. Every weakness you refuse to fix inside yourself becomes a wall your business can't climb. Every excuse you protect becomes a chain that holds your growth down. That's why honesty isn't optional. It's oxygen for growth. You can't build something strong on top of something fake. You can't scale something externally that's crumbling internally, so here's what you do. Right now, take inventory, brutally. Ask yourself, where am I pretending to be busy instead of being productive? Where am I playing small because I'm afraid of looking foolish? Where am I lying to myself about effort, consistency, and commitment? Write it down, face it, and don't look away. Because the faster you face yourself, the faster your business will expand. Your company is waiting for you to grow up. Your results are waiting for you to stop pretending. And the market, it rewards those who are ruthlessly real. The moment you stop running from your reflection, everything changes. You'll start seeing the patterns you've been blind to. You'll realize the world wasn't rejecting your product. It was mirroring your belief. You'll see that it was never luck, never timing, never competition. It was always you, and when that realization hits, it hurts. But that pain, that's progress. That's the burn that reshapes you. You start asking better questions. You start leading with clarity instead of emotion. You stop reacting to the market and start directing it. That's when growth stops being an accident and becomes your identity. That's when leadership becomes a mirror, not a mask. That's when your team stops guessing what you want because you finally know who you are. Say it again, out loud. My business can't grow past my awareness. Say it until it sinks in. Because every time you repeat it, you strip away another layer of denial. You sharpen your edge. You raise your ceiling. And one day, you'll wake up and realize your results finally match your standards. Not because the market changed, not because your audience suddenly cared more, but because you did the work internally. That's how it begins. That's how real growth happens. It's not in the metrics. It's in the mirror. You face the hardest truth. You are the ceiling. And now that you know it, you can break it. Take a breath. You faced yourself. Now, it's time to act from that truth. Because honesty without execution is still self-deception. You've opened your eyes. Now you must move. You've mastered awareness. Now it's time to master responsibility. Because that's where leaders are made, not in what they say, but in what they own. Chapter 9. The Power of Letting Go. Systems over. Ego, you want to scale your business? Then stop trying to control everything, because here's the truth. If you're doing everything, you're leading nothing. If everything depends on you, your business isn't free, it's trapped. And the trap isn't built by your team. It's built by your ego. You think being involved in everything is leadership. It's not. It's fear. Fear that no one can do it as well as you. Fear that letting go means losing control. But that fear is costing you growth. You are the bottleneck. You are the ceiling. And until you learn to let go, you will stay small, no matter how hard you work. That's the paradox of leadership. The tighter you hold, the slower you move. The more you control, the less you create. You say you want freedom, but you keep choosing control. You say you want scale, but you refuse to systemize. You say you want to lead, but you're still managing tasks instead of people. That's why this chapter exists, to confront the hardest truth every entrepreneur faces. Your ego is not your edge. Your ego is your limitation. Let's start here. There are only two kinds of businesses, those built on people and those built on systems. Businesses built on people burn out. Businesses built on systems scale, because systems don't sleep. Systems don't get tired. Systems don't need validation. That's the key. Systems create consistency, and consistency is what builds trust, momentum, and scalability. Your job as a leader isn't to do more. It's to design more. It's to think in structure, not reaction. It's to replace repetition with automation. You don't need to be everywhere. You need to be essential, in the few places that actually move the needle. That's how freedom is built. Delegate to duplicate. Automate to elevate, say it again, because that's the formula. That's how you scale yourself. But ego hates systems, because ego loves chaos. Ego feeds on being needed. It loves being the hero. You've built an identity around being the one who fixes everything. The one who knows every detail. The one who holds the team together. But that identity is killing your scalability. If you have to touch everything, your business will never outgrow your capacity. If your team can't function without you, you don't have a team. You have assistants. Leadership isn't about being the center of activity. It's about designing independence. It's about creating a machine that runs on principles, not personality. That's real power. When your systems lead even when you're not there. So ask yourself, if you disappeared for 30 days, would your business grow or collapse? Your answer tells you everything about how you've built it. The solution? Let go, strategically. Start with clarity. Document everything that repeats. If you do something more than twice, systemize it. Turn chaos into process. Turn memory into documentation. Then delegate, train, trust, and get out of the way. Let your team fail forward. Because perfection isn't the goal, progress is. Every time you refuse to delegate, you rob someone else of the chance to grow. You think you're protecting quality, but you're really protecting your comfort. You think you're being responsible, but you're really avoiding discomfort. And that's ego disguised as excellence. You don't need control. You need courage. Courage to let others rise. Courage to let systems replace your habits. Courage to stop being the bottleneck. Here's a truth that stings. If your business can't run without you, you don't own it. It owns you. You're not leading a company. You're trapped inside a job you created for yourself. Freedom doesn't come from doing more. Freedom comes from designing less. Stop managing from memory. Stop solving the same problem twice. Stop making yourself indispensable, because being indispensable feels good until it burns you out. And burnout doesn't build legacies. Systems do. That's the shift. From hero to architect. From controller to creator. From worker to leader, delegate to duplicate. Automate to elevate. Say it again. Until your brain finally understands that letting go is not weakness, it's wisdom. Let's go deeper. When you delegate, you multiply trust. When you automate, you multiply time. When you systemize, you multiply energy. That's leverage. That's leadership. Every successful entrepreneur eventually learns this. You don't scale by adding effort. You scale by removing friction. Friction lives in you doing too much. Freedom lives in building systems that think for you. So start building dashboards, create templates, define checklists, and automate the small, repeatable, low-value work. Because every minute you spend fixing problems your systems could prevent is a minute stolen from vision and growth. You don't need to do everything. You need to design how everything gets done. And when you finally do that, something incredible happens. You'll start to feel lighter. You'll start to think clearer. You'll start to lead from purpose, not pressure. Your team will stop waiting for permission. They'll start taking initiative. Your business will start compounding without your constant input. That's not luck. That's leverage. That's the power of letting go. You built the system. The system builds the business. And the business frees you to build your life. That's what growth feels like. Not more control, but more clarity. Say it again until it sticks. Delegate to duplicate. Automate to elevate. That's the mantra. That's the model. That's the mindset that turns leaders into visionaries. Because ego keeps you small. Systems set you free. You don't need to hold tighter. You need to think smarter. You don't need more control. You need more trust. You don't need to do everything. You need to build what does it for you. That's how freedom is engineered. That's how scale is built. That's how you evolve from operator to owner. Let go. Not because you're weak, but because you're ready to lead. Chapter 10. You are the asset. Protect and expand. You are the asset. Not your product. Not your team. Not your systems. You. Because the truth is simple, your business can only grow as fast as you do. Your company mirrors your energy. Your results follow your mindset. Your team takes their cue from your state. That's why the greatest ROI isn't in your ads or funnels. It's in your focus, your body, and your emotional health. You are the foundation everything stands on. And if that foundation cracks, everything collapses. This is the part most entrepreneurs ignore. They think working harder is the answer. They think burning out means they're committed. They think exhaustion equals excellence. It doesn't. Burnout isn't a badge of honor. It's proof of misaligned priorities. You're not tired because you're doing too much. You're tired because you're carrying what isn't yours to carry. You're tired because you've forgotten who you are in the process of building what you want. Here's the truth. You can't outperform your health. You can't scale your vision on an empty tank. And you can't pour from a mind that's constantly on fire. Your body is your business partner. Your mindset is your management system. Your emotions are your market signals. If you don't maintain them, you lose everything. That's the key. When you grow, everything grows. When you stop, everything stops. Say it again. Let it echo in your mind until it becomes instinct. When you grow, everything grows. When you stop, everything stops. Let's talk about mindset. Because mindset isn't just motivation. It's management. Your thoughts are operations. They either optimize your day or crash your internal system. If your default thought is, "I'm behind," you'll live in panic. If your default thought is, "I can handle this," you'll operate from power. Every result starts in your internal dialogue. Your business reflects your belief systems before it reflects your systems. You can have the perfect strategy and still sabotage it with a scattered mind. You can have the right team but lose them to your inconsistent energy. You can have the best tools but waste them through emotional chaos. That's why protecting your mental space is leadership. That's why mastering your state is profit. It's not about working harder. It's about thinking cleaner. It's about protecting the asset, you. Now let's talk about your body. Because physical exhaustion disguises itself as discipline, you tell yourself, "I'm just grinding." But the truth is, you're decaying. Every skipped meal, every sleepless night, every ignored workout compounds into one thing: a weaker leader, and a weaker leader creates weaker decisions. You don't win because you push harder. You win because you recover better. Think about it. You wouldn't drive your car on empty and expect it to perform. So why do you expect your body to execute on fumes? Rest isn't retreat. Rest is reinforcement. Recovery is part of performance. Sleep is not a reward. It's a weapon. You can't lead at your highest potential when your body is surviving. Your physical energy determines your mental clarity, and your mental clarity determines your business capacity. When your body breaks, everything you've built starts breaking with it. That's not weakness, that's reality. So take care of the asset. Train it, fuel it, guard it, because you're not just building a business, you're building the vessel that runs it. Now, emotional health. This is where most leaders silently collapse. You think you can suppress everything. You think strength means silence. But silence turns into resentment, and resentment turns into burnout. You can't lead people when you secretly resent them. You can't inspire others when you're emotionally drained. You must create emotional boundaries. You must learn to detach your identity from every outcome. When you win, stay grounded. When you lose, stay composed. When others fail you, stay centered. That's emotional mastery. That's what makes leadership sustainable. Because here's the reality. You don't just manage your team's performance. You manage their emotional weather. And you can't stabilize their storms if you haven't learned to calm your own. Protect your peace like you protect your profit. Because one fuels the other. You have to start seeing yourself like an athlete. Your business is the game. Your performance depends on preparation, training, and recovery. You don't show up to play tired, distracted, or depleted. You show up focused, sharp, and ready. That's how you win. Not by doing more, but by being more. When you grow, everything grows. When you stop, everything stops. That's not motivation. That's mechanics. That's how reality works. You are the engine that drives the machine. If the engine overheats, the whole system fails. If the engine is tuned and strong, it runs forever. That's the difference between short-term hustle and long-term mastery. So here's what to do. Practical steps. Audit your energy. Track what drains you and what fuels you. If it drains you consistently, delegate or delete it. Protect your mornings. Don't let chaos set your tone. Start each day with clarity, not reaction. Invest in your health, not as an afterthought, as a strategy. Nutrition, sleep, movement. These are non-negotiable leadership tools. Detach from constant urgency. Growth happens through rhythm, not panic. Urgency burns fuel. Discipline builds endurance. Revisit your purpose. Why you started matters more than how fast you move. Because purpose sustains when pressure hits. That's the formula. That's how you protect and expand the asset. Because every business crash, every broken culture, every burnout story starts with one root cause: a neglected leader. You think your business needs another strategy, but what it really needs is a healthier, sharper, calmer you. That's the truth nobody tells you. Your clarity is your company's compass. Your peace is your profit margin. Your energy is your execution, so stop trying to outwork your exhaustion. Start building yourself into someone too grounded to burn out. When you grow, everything grows. When you stop, everything stops. Say it again. Say it until it becomes your new operating system. When you grow, everything grows. When you stop, everything stops. That's the law. That's the heartbeat of sustainable success. You are the asset. Protect it, expand it, honor it, because the world doesn't need a burned-out version of you. It needs the focused, disciplined, unstoppable version, the one who leads from alignment, not exhaustion. That's the real work. That's the final mastery. Your business will never outgrow you. Not your vision, not your bank account, not your team. Every new level demands a new leader. And that leader is you. You can keep chasing tactics, or you can become the kind of person who turns every tactic into gold. The truth is, the market rewards clarity, energy, and conviction, not excuses. Upgrade yourself, and your entire business upgrades automatically. Stop waiting for the perfect plan. Start becoming the person who executes any plan perfectly. The next level isn't waiting for your idea, it's waiting for your evolution. So decide, grow faster, think sharper, lead stronger. Because your business grows only as fast as you do.